Coconuts from the coconut palm tree in the tropics. It is such a divine fruit, and a lot of people don't know how to get into the real coconut, so they buy the shredded coconut in a bag. I'm going to show you how to get into the real coconut. The first tools you'll need to do that is your potato nail and a hammer. And then you sit the coconut into the drain with a rag underneath it in the sink, and then it makes it so it doesn't roll around, and you punch holes into each of the eyes. And that's the 3 little dark spots on one end. And then after you get that done, you take it and you get the water out. There is coconut water inside of the coconuts. And when you're selecting the coconut, you want to be sure you can hear. Can you hear that? The water. If there's no water inside, you don't want to buy it, because that means it's drying out and it's been there for quite a while. It's been off that tree for quite a while. So now we pour the coconut water into a container. And we want to do that so we can get to the meat, which is what the white part of the coconut's called, and that way we can eat it. So we got to get it through the hard shell. And so what you do is you put the coconut into a pan or some kind of dish that has sides, and be sure that the holes of the coconut, the eyes that you have just punched, are not down. They have to be out so that the steam can come out. And then you put that at 350 for about 15 minutes to 20 minutes, and then you take it out, and it comes out and has cracks in it, so it's easier for you to do. And in this one, which we did have in the oven, there's cracks on the back side now that weren't there before. And that will make it easier, because the hardest thing to do is to get it started. And this puts cracks in so we can do it. Now you have to be kind of careful because it's been in the oven and this could be hot inside. And so you take your hammer again and you just whack it on a hard surface. Now as you've hit the coconut, you do not have to make it just squish down, because as you can see here, this is just, you just pull this part off. This is where the meat is, on the other side of this brown. And if you take a knife, and I like to use butter knives because then I don't like to hurt myself as much, and you can pry that open, and there you are, the inside of the coconut. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, if you'll notice on the outside of the white, there is another brown part. It's very fibrous. You can eat it or not. If you want to take this part off, you use a potato peeler and just peel it off, and it's a lot easier than using a knife. But here we are inside. And I have to say, is most of the time when I eat it, I don't take the brown part off. But if it's hard to get down, or if people don't like fibrous things, I would take it off. And then, if you'll notice, I now have this whole big thing, and this doesn't really want to come off too much. But if I turn it over, there's another break. And so I can take my hammer, because I can see another crack here and another crack here. Then I can just pound on that until that comes apart. Oh, I think so. And then you can just gradually take care of that, because if you'll start watching, there'll be more of the breaks that you didn't notice before. Now, in lieu of time, I want to show you how to peel this, the coconut, because what happens is that, oops, they want one piece, and this is not very warm inside. It's kind of warm on the outside, but not the inside. So now there are the little pieces, and you can just have people eat it that way, or you can take it with a grater and you can grate it into a pan and just do it on, that's how they do the grated stuff. And then if you want to toast this, the oils in coconut allow you to brown it in the microwave. That's very unusual because you usually can't brown things in the microwave. But over here, you'll see, oh, don't have much, but I got some. And if you take the brown part off, it actually grates faster. And this is pretty much what you are hoping you are buying when you buy coconut in the bag. Now, to keep this preserved and to keep it moist, of course, they've got to put some sugar and some preservatives in here. And you know, I have to say, for the quickness of it all, this is the best way to go. But if you really want to have that experience, and if you really don't want to have any additives to your coconut, the best thing to do is to take it and do it yourself. Now, I wanted to show you the main difference between milk and water of coconut. Some people think that the stuff that comes out of the coconut is called milk. It's actually called water. And let's see why. If you pour that we collected into a glass, it looks like water. Look how much was in there. That was a very healthy coconut. And then on the shelf in the store, you can buy coconut milk. Now, what would be the difference between coconut milk and coconut water? Coconut water comes out of the coconut. This is what they've done is they've ground the coconut up and then they squeeze it. And it looks like milk because it's white, and that's why it's called coconut milk. And the other thing is you'll notice is that we have little floaters in here. And if you wanted to take those out, I just drink them. I don't care. They're just little pieces of the husk. If you wanted to, you can strain that, and then you would have it so it's even clearer. And there's a difference between the two, and the reasons why you use them are different. This is usually used in baking or making soups and things. There's a lot of cultures that use coconut milk. And some people avoid it because they think that it's high in fat. But it's high in a fat that is good for us. It comes out of the trees. And then most people in most cultures just drink it. Now, I've used it as a water. When I'm baking, you can just use this as the water that's called for, or the other liquid. And it adds a little bit of a coconut flavor. This part tastes really, really coconutty. This doesn't taste very coconutty. And it's very thin. This is very thick. And that's the reason why it's used for baking and in soups and things. Especially in some Thai cultures and some Thai recipes, coconut milk is like one of the mainstays. And it always turns out good. The coconut itself is very easy to store. You can keep it at room temperature for about 4 months. And the best way to see if it's staying okay is to see if it still has its liquid in it. And you can just shake that by your ear. You know, they're from the tropics, so they don't like to be frozen too much unless you've prepared it for freezing. And then you can keep it a lot longer. Now, the fact that we've already opened this, I can only keep this in the refrigerator for about 3 or 5 days because it's fragile. And that's one of the reasons why you want to toast it, because then it'll keep longer. I hope this has helped you understand how to get into a coconut flavoring, coconut smells. I love it. I love coconut oil. And that all comes from the coconut. So go to my website and check out coconuts.